Evolution gave us some incredible survival skills, from adrenaline-fueled reflexes to great eyesight and hearing. But since we're now at the top of the food chain, we sometimes like to say, "In your face, Darwin, I'm taking me some totally pointless risks because I'm bored." And one of the best ways to do this is the slippery wild ride of a water slide. Some are tall, some are dangerous, and some are just plain weird. Of course, the biggest thrill of all is every wild ride with the hub. So make sure you slip and slide over to the subscribe button so you never miss out on the fun. The Abyss. This monster, named the Abyss at Fushun, China, towers almost 100 feet high, and over 1,000 people per hour race through it in peak season. Riders are put in a 6-man dinghy and sent through a series of twists and turns before rocketing up the enormous walls of the Abyss, which is the giant funnel near the end. The ride is designed to make you swing up and down each side multiple times, like a skateboarder in a half-pipe, before one final drop to the exit. Tower of Neptune Shark Attack. Atlantis is a beach resort on Palm Island in Dubai, presumably named because it will probably disappear under the sea when the man-made island collapses in 2028. If you head to the section called the Tower of Neptune, you and a friend can shoot down right into a shark-infested lagoon. But despite its name, the Shark Attack ride puts a tunnel of glass between you and the ancient predators. And if you still thirst for more water madness, here's a 60-kilometer slide, Poseidon's Revenge, just next to it. Park Street Waterslide. Many water parks are tucked away on the outside of the city, where they can find space for all the pools and rides. But one city in the UK decided to just slide one right into the middle of town. The Park Street Waterslide was an art project in Bristol, where organizers used plastic sheeting, hay bales, water, and dishwashing liquid to create a makeshift slide that was 90 meters long. Only 370 people got to use it, out of the 96,000 people who applied, including slide fans from Abu Dhabi. Blacklight Slide. This charity project moves all around the US, changing cities every week or so from March until October. It raises money for a children's hospital in Phoenix, but at $20 a ticket, you know it's got to be something special. You turn up when the sun's gone down and the water for the slide glows under UV light, so the whole event looks like someone turned on the sprinkler at a 90s rave. Just try not to drink too much of it. A healthy glow is one thing, but you don't want to go home looking like a highlighter. Rear Rockslide. Of course, Mother Nature invented the water slide long before humans got around to it. And Rear Rockslide in New Zealand was probably a popular Sunday hangout for cavemen and Neanderthals. The river flows down a 60-meter-long rock face that has been smoothed down over the centuries. Although not completely, as plenty of people going down in a cheap rubber ring have been met with a pop. And unlike the water park, rather than a height restriction, there's a large sign warning people that they're risking serious injury and death. But try telling that to a teenager with a bodyboard. Bad One Pool. When you see it from the outside, the Bad One Pool slide doesn't look so bad. It's not that tall, it's got the standard twists and turns, and it's just a plain blue tube. But when you get to the entrance of this ride in Bremenhaven, Germany, you'll see what all the fuss is about. It's filled with hoops of neon lights, so it feels like you're driving down a wormhole. Some sections are dotted with tiny stars, and others have flashing streaks. You emerge the black hole in a small pool in an alternate universe, which is just like this one, but where you feel slightly sick. Jumeirah Skara, Wild Wadi Water Park, Dubai. Back to Dubai again, this time for the Jumeirah Skara in Wild Wadi Water Park. For this ride, you must enter a capsule like one of the sleeping pods you see in science fiction movies. It closes pneumatically and you stand with your arms crossed over your chest like a corpse, and the countdown begins.
3, 2, 1.
Finally, the bottom of the capsule snaps open, right under your feet, and you plummet to your death. I mean, down the slide. It's 120 meters long, but since you can hit speeds of 80 kilometers an hour, you won't have much time to take in the scenery. Action Park in Vernon. This slide went all the way from New Zealand to New Jersey, but rather than spending months on your rubber ring, it's just that the ride was packed up and sent across the world. The slide itself may not cross oceans, but at over 600 meters, it's the record holder for the longest inflatable slide. It needs 1,000 gallons of water an hour. That's enough to fill 20 bathtubs. So if you live in the area, you might want to get up early for a wash. Costa Rican Jungle. Water shouldn't be a problem for our next place, since just like Bruce Springsteen, it runs through the jungle. Built by the Buena Vista Lodge in Costa Rica, this slide is made of concrete and volcanic mud, and you speed 400 meters through the jungle undergrowth. Riders always comment on how fast it is, and this is probably in part because you have trees whizzing right past your face. as well as the occasional monkey rolling its eyes at its animal cousins, wondering why we're trying to constantly kill ourselves. Kansas City's Schlitterbahn. Every group of friends or family has that one person a bit more cautious than the others. They wear the extra layer of sunscreen and always read the instructions. But anyone who looked up at the ride called Verrückt in Kansas City's Schlitterbahn Waterpark and said, "That looks way too dangerous," it turns out they were right. The world's largest water slide is scheduled to be torn down after the son of a U.S. politician was decapitated by the ride. The ride is over 50 meters tall and has an upslope in the middle. In the accident, the 3-person raft went airborne and hit a metal bar. The boy died, and the other 2 women with him had a broken jaw and a broken face. The park chose to demolish the ride of their own accord. There are water parks all over the world, and for many people, it's worth the hours of queuing and the screaming children, just for that 30-second thrill. But if water parks are a bit much for you, you can always pour water and detergent all over your kitchen and get sliding around on a pillow. Just don't tell anyone we told you to do that. We hope you enjoyed this wet and wild adventure with the Hub. Don't forget to subscribe before you dry off. See you again soon.